Hello, I'm Derry Heasley. My full name is William Derry Heasley. I'm a licensed psychologist from Gloucester, Massachusetts, and I sort of pursued my career a decade at a time. I got a degree per decade, so one in the 70s, one in the 80s, and one in the 90s. Makes me kind of a lifelong student. I see a variety of clients and work with folks, a lot of ADD and ADHD. Both children and adults have come through my office doors. I do probably the bulk of my work with folks with anxiety. And I know that from time to time people have wow stories, and I do have one of those. I had a client come in who was anxious and said they couldn't get themselves to drive over either bridge. They just couldn't leave the island and wanted to do that though. Normally I would say this is probably going to take 20, 30 sessions, and I let them know that. And by the 12th session, they walked in and said, not only did I drive over the bridge off the island, I kept going and went over the bridge into Boston, and they were quite proud. So that was one of my wow moments. If you have an opportunity to change up your experience and it doesn't involve having negative side effects, I would encourage you to give it a try. I do stress to folks, we do not put electricity into your brain when you are training your own brain waves. So this is an opportunity for you to hack into your own brain and change your own software for better functioning, for optimizing how you do what you do with your brain. I have utilized more than one person as a mentor, and that is invaluable. I paid EEGer4 for telephone supervision for a period of time. I paid Joy Lund the same way in order to get supervision from someone who I felt, well, they have a bit of a different approach. I want to tap into her expertise, and I find that very valuable. I keep up by looking at the Listserv. When I see something that I think is valuable in terms of how to treat something, I copy it and I paste it on a page with the major symptom cluster that I see that it addresses. And sometimes it's more than one, but I now can go to my own computer sort of library of how to address this or that, you know, what to do with this depression, what do you do with anxiety, what about OCD, where they're obsessing over and over again. I find suggestions for how to work with that. And I've never seen it change you for the worse. Sometimes it's actually hard to tell, especially for the client, because there are things that are no longer there that used to be there. And it's not easy to notice something that's gone. And I have that experience with clients who will walk out of the office and only later, at a later session, come back and say, you know, you had asked me during last session if I noticed any changes, and I said no, but after I walked away and I was walking down the street, I realized my mind was not yakking and yakking and yakking at me. I no longer had that busy brain that you talk about. So that is an example of things that can disappear, that were there and problematic, or maybe not even particularly troubling, but the person's quality of life goes up when it is